Shen Tian traveled to the world of high martial arts and awakened Tom's martial soul. Just as others were mocking him as a useless martial soul, Shen Tian was silently counting Tom's abilities in his heart. Ability to heal, transform, fly, resist attacks, and so on. In addition to abilities, there are also a variety of forms. Common forms: Ice Tom, Flame Tom, Steel Tom, Clone Tom, and so on. Adversarial forms: Tom the Mighty Dragon, Tom the Future Warrior, Tom the Super Self-Disciplined Muscle, Tom the Mutant Spider, and so on. Ultimate forms: Iron Body Krypton Tom, Lightning Tom, Blood Bat Tom, God of Destruction Tom, and so on. One person, one cat, on the road to the world, officially set sail. Life motto: if you don't agree, do it. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Awakening Martial Soul Ceremony, Seeking Flowers for Evaluation. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The Yan Empire Qintang County Wilderness City Shen family. A group of teenagers gathered at the martial arts training ground, and in the center of the training ground, they were dealing with a huge awakening stone of martial souls. In this world, talent determines the lower limit of a warrior, while martial soul determines the upper limit of a warrior. Talent can be classified from low to high into non-essential, ordinary, yellow, mysterious, earthly, heavenly, sacred, and divine. From low to high, martial souls can be divided into non-mainstream, mortal level, yellow level, mysterious level, earth level, heavenly level, holy level, and divine level. Warriors of the same realm, those with awakened martial souls, can hang and beat warriors who have not awakened their martial souls. So, martial soul is crucial. Even awakened ordinary martial souls are enough to increase the overall combat power several times. Today it is the day when the Shen family awakens their martial soul once a year. Those who are over 16 years old and under 20 years old are eligible to participate in the awakening ceremony. Shen Tian, come on, Shen Tian. Shen Tian, I'm going to have a child for you. Shen Tian is a mysterious talent, he can definitely awaken high-level martial souls. The awakening ceremony had not yet begun, and there was a lively noise surrounding it. Among them, the vast majority of the population shouted the word Shen Tian. Shen Tian, the third son of the current head of the Shen family, Shen Nanbei. He has exceptional talent, not only for the entire Shen family, but also for the only Xianpin talent in the entire Wild City. He is also a top-notch Xianpin, almost reaching the ground level. With such talent, coupled with the current clan leader's third son status, it is no wonder there is such a strong demand. After 15 minutes, the awakening ceremony officially began. The first person to step onto the awakening platform is Shen Yan, who is 17 this year. Taking a deep breath, Shen Yan pressed his right hand onto the martial soul awakening stone. However, nothing happened, there was no change on the awakening stone, not even a glimmer of light flickered. Shen Yan, awakening failed. Impossible, I won't fail, there must be something wrong. Shen Yan seems unable to accept this fact and wants to try again. Awakening is not a child's play. With so many people watching, how can he be allowed to act recklessly? Immediately, he was forcibly taken off the awakening platform by someone. The second one to come on stage is a little girl, Shen Ling, who has just turned 16 this year. Cultivation talent, medium yellow grade. Shen Ling's right hand just touched the awakening stone, and there was an instant reaction on the awakening stone. Blue light emerged, followed by a blue light enveloping the entire body. White, gray, yellow, green, blue, purple. 7 colors of radiance correspond to 7 levels of martial soul. The whole process lasted for a few breaths, and then a long sword appeared above Shen Ling's head. Sword martial soul, it's actually sword martial soul. This dazzling light is top-notch, top-notch yellow rank martial soul. Above the stands, an elderly man was extremely excited. He was Shen Ling's grandfather and also the fifth elder of the Shen family, Shen Tian. Medium-level cultivation talent, combined with top-notch yellow-level martial souls, the combination of the two makes it difficult to find a few in the entire wilderness city. No wonder Shen Tian, at his age, is so happy that he can dance and dance. After Shen Ling stepped down, he instantly attracted the attention of countless people. But she remained unmoved and walked straight towards Shen Tian, smiling sweetly at him. Shen Tian, come on. Shen Tian nodded, his face showing an extra calmness compared to his peers. Because there is a secret in him, which is the identity of the traveler. Traveling through this world, becoming a powerful second generation and a wealthy second generation. In addition, his cultivation talent is also the highest in the entire Shen family, making him a perfect winner in life. As long as you awaken your powerful martial soul, it is a life of cheating. One by one, the Shen family youths climbed onto the awakening platform, some successful and excited. Some have failed and their faces are full of frustration. The awakened martial souls are also diverse. So far, the highest is still Shen Ling's superior Huangjie sword soul. Next, Shen Tian. As his name was called, Shen Tian confidently stepped onto the awakening stage. Even on the awakening stage, he waved his hands to greet everyone. In his view, awakening the martial soul is an inevitable thing. In front of everyone, Shen Tian placed his hand on the awakening stone. Soon, the awakening stone had a response. A white light appeared, flickering past and turning into gray. Then, it changed from gray to yellow again. Then, it changed from yellow to green. The green light corresponds to the martial soul level, which is the earth level. For a moment, the entire Shen family exploded. That's the martial soul of the earth level. Not only the Shen family, but the entire wilderness city has never appeared. However, after only 2 or 3 breaths, the color changed again. Transformed from green to blue. All the Shen family members suddenly took a deep breath. Just haven't fully recovered from the blue light yet, the color has changed again. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 2. Tom's Martial Soul, Seeking Flowers for Evaluation. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The blue light corresponds to the heavenly level martial soul. What is the concept of Tianjie martial soul? There has never been a warrior who awakened the heavenly level martial soul in the entire Chintang County. In the Great Flame Empire, there are only 5 known warriors who awakened the heavenly level martial soul. The first one was the founding emperor of the Great Flame Empire, Yan Wushuang. The second was the 5th emperor of the Great Flame Empire, Yancheng. The third one is Lu Haidong, the dean of the Infinite Academy of the Great Flame Empire. The fourth one is the owner of the Qingyun Pavilion in the Great Flame Empire, Shi Feiyu. The fifth one is the current little princess of the Great Flame Empire, Yan Mimi. The blue light appearing on the awakening stone means that Shen Tian will become the 6th person in the Great Flame Empire to awaken the heavenly level martial soul. Heaven bless my Shen family. How could my Shen family be so virtuous and capable? Surprisingly, a awakened heavenly level martial soul youth has appeared. My Shen family is about to take off from now on. Just as everyone felt that the heavenly martial soul was the limit, the color changed again. From blue to blue. Blue, that's the legendary holy martial soul. There has never been a holy martial soul in the entire empire of Great Flame. For a moment, everyone was like petrification, unable to believe what was happening before them. Just a holy level martial soul, is that the reaction? Call me. As Shen Tian shouted, the color changed from blue to purple. Purple, corresponding to the divine level martial soul. Upon seeing this scene, Shen Nanbei, the head of the Shen family, knelt down first towards Shen Tian. As a father, kneeling down to his son is like thunder and lightning. Setting aside his father's identity, Shen Nanbei is still the head of the Shen family. He knelt down as the head of the Shen family. That's a divine-level martial soul, not to mention kneeling down. Even if he were to die now, he wouldn't hesitate. The rest of the Shen family also knelt down one after another. At this moment in their eyes, Shen Tian was no longer the young boy Shen Tian, but a towering and untouchable deity. Sure enough, I am truly the chosen one by heaven. Shen Tian had a proud expression on his face, but at this moment, a sudden change occurred. According to the process, the final frozen light will envelop the entire body. Then awakened martial souls will appear above the head. Shen Tian noticed that the purple light on the awakening stone did not cover it, and there was no awakened martial soul above his head. Just as he was puzzled, the color on the awakening stone changed once again. Transformed from purple to eerie black. Black to the point where the entire awakening stone is almost invisible. What's going on? It was still purple before, how did it turn black? What is black? Who can tell me what grade does the black light represent? All the people who had knelt on the ground before quickly got up now. Shen Nanbei looked at the black light on the awakening stone, and his heart was filled with turbulent waves. Intuition told him that something big might happen. Because no one has seen the black light, and has never even heard of it. Is there a more powerful martial soul above the divine-level martial soul? A bold idea came to Shen Nanbei's mind, but it was just one thought because he dared not continue to think. If it's okay, but if it's not, he definitely can't accept it. What does black mean when I play monkey on him? Not only the Shen family was confused, but even Shen Tian was equally confused. Traveling through this world for 16 years, I am also very familiar with the martial souls of this world. Purple has the highest level and corresponds to the divine level. I have never heard of black before, and after the light turns black, it has not yet covered my whole body. This also indicates that the black light does not seem to be the final color yet. Otherwise, the color has changed again. But this time the color is quite unique. At the moment when the light shines, everyone's eyes cannot open, almost to the point of almost becoming blind. White, how could it be white? Everyone, including Shen Nanbei, saw a white light rising in the moment they closed their eyes. But only Shen Tian knew in his heart that it was not a white light at all. White light is only the outer color, and the dazzling light hidden within it is the legend of gold. In the end, the light enveloped the whole body. When the light dissipated, everyone also opened their eyes. But when everyone discovered the martial soul condensed on Shen Tian's head, everyone was dumbfounded. Surprisingly, it's a cat. White cat martial soul. Oh my god, after all this time, he's actually the most useless martial soul. Chow, I just knelt down. For a moment, everyone felt extremely angry inside. Especially for some senior members of the family, in their eyes, kneeling before Shen Tian was simply a great shame. Shen Tian ignored the noise around him, even the angry scolding. White garbage cat martial soul. That's a golden legend, Tom. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 3. Life and Death Battle, Seeking Flowers for Evaluation. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Shen Tian is no stranger to Tom and possesses countless powerful abilities. For example, the ability to heal, transform, fly, resist attacks, and so on. There are also regular forms, sky-defying forms, and ultimate forms. Common forms. Ice Tom, Flame Tom, Steel Tom, Clone Tom, and so on. Adversarial forms. Tom the Mighty Dragon, Tom the Future Warrior, Tom the Super Self-Disciplined Muscle, Tom the Mutant Spider, and so on. Ultimate forms. Iron Body Krypton Tom, Lightning Tom, Blood Bat Tom, God of Destruction Tom, and so on. Other people's martial souls generally only have one ability. A bit more impressive, there may be two types. There are only 3 ways to hold on to the top. The abilities possessed by Shen Tian's Tom-Cat martial soul are densely packed with unclear values. The most powerful ones are still various forms, although they cannot be activated now, they can all be activated once their strength improves. Thinking about it, I feel it's always exciting. Especially when it comes to the state of the God of Destruction Tom, is it a divine defense against the God of Killing, or is it a Buddha to be executed? White trash cat martial soul. A mocking voice rang out in the crowd. Shen Tsang, 1 year older than Shen Tian, is the second son of Shen Tian's second uncle Shen Bahai. In the past, Shen Tsang's father Shen Bahai and Shen Tian's father Shen Nanbei competed for the position of family leader. Due to losing to Shen Nanbei, Shen Bahai has always been haunted. This also led to the two brothers turning against each other, leaving only the last layer of thin paper to be pierced, which is also known to the entire Shen family. Because of this level of relationship, the relationship between Shen Tsang and Shen Tian is also not good. Previously, Shen Tian awakened his martial soul, especially when his color changed again and again. Both Shen Bahai and his son felt very uncomfortable in their hearts. The two of them knew very well that once Shen Tian's awakened martial soul was incredibly powerful, they would never have a chance to turn over in the Shen family. Fortunately, everything was just a false alarm. In the end, there is no holy level martial soul, let alone divine level martial soul, not even yellow level martial soul. But rather a useless martial soul. Shen Nanbei, your son just awakened his useless martial soul. How could you take the lead in making all of our Shen family kneel down to him? As a clan leader, what do you mean by your heart? If this matter were to spread, how would others perceive our Shen family? Elders, I suggest abolishing the position of Shen Nanbei's tribal chief. Shen Bahai was already displeased with Shen Nanbei, and even more so, he was determined to glimpse the position of clan leader. At present, with such a good opportunity, we naturally won't miss it. Shouldn't you kneel down to the divine level martial soul radiance? Shen Nanbei's ability to become a clan controller is naturally impossible for him to be a coward, let alone a rascal. His eyes quickly scanned everyone present, including those elders, and almost no one dared to stare at him for more than 2 breaths. Before, it was you who took the initiative to kneel down. I never forced you, let alone said a word or even a word. As he spoke, Shen Nanbei's gaze instantly froze on Shen Bahai and he took the initiative to walk towards him step by step. Shen Bahai, I know you lost to me for the position of clan leader, and now you have resentment in your heart. I can understand your inner feelings, but you shouldn't do anything wrong. You want to bring the Shen family into irreparable danger. You're talking nonsense, Shen Bahai wanted to retaliate, but before he could finish speaking, he was forcefully interrupted by Shen Nanbei. Shut up, what are you? Do you want the elders to dismiss my clan leader position, and then what? Do you want to be your own clan leader? How many pounds and liang do you have? I'm not sure in my heart. Are you that piece of material? The Shen family is leaderless. Once it reaches the ears of the other 3 major families, do you know the consequences? Mild cases can cause muscle and bone damage, while severe cases can lead to the extermination of the clan. As soon as the word extermination was spoken, a look of fear appeared on all faces. Truly worthy of being a cheap dad, just a few simple words will scare everyone for a moment. Shen Tian stared straight at Shen Nanbei, secretly wanting to give a thumbs up at this cheap old man. It has to be said that there is indeed a bit of dominance. However domineering it may be, it is not worth mentioning in front of his Tom-Cat martial soul. This matter has been exposed and cannot be leaked. Shen Donghe, the elder of the Shen family, made a deep voice. In the Shen family, he was second only to Shen Nanbei in existence. His words were also equivalent to the statements of the elders. Alright, continue with the martial soul awakening ceremony. The martial soul awakening ceremony continued, and one after another young members of the Shen family stepped onto the awakening stage. The ratio of successful awakening to failed awakening is approximately 3.2. Next, Shen Tsang. Shen Tsang's appearance also attracted the attention of many people. Firstly, Shen Tsang's identity is also quite unique. Secondly, it is Shen Tsang's own cultivation talent, ranking second in the Shen family, second only to Shen Tian's existence. Of course this is second only to, but still quite different. Shen Tsang confidently stepped onto the awakening platform and touched the awakening stone with his right hand. A dazzling green light emerged, corresponding to the earth-level martial soul. A light green axe appeared on top of the head, a lower-level martial soul, and a ground-splitting axe. Lower-level martial soul. Shen Tian laughed wildly and immediately raised his hand to point toward Shen Tian below. Shen Tian, I want to challenge you. A month later, we'll fight each other. Whoever loses, get out of the Shen family. I took it. Everyone thought Shen Tian would be afraid to take it. Unexpectedly, Shen Tian did not hesitate at all and immediately spoke up to accept the challenge initiated by Shen Tsang. Whoever loses, get out of the Shen family and there's no need. What, are you afraid? Shen Tsang sneered with a cold snort. It's not fear, it's unnecessary. Shen Tian shrugged his shoulders and suddenly gathered the smile on his face, slowly speaking up. A month later, in a life and death battle, do you dare to take it? Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 4. Tom's Objectification, Seeking Flowers for Evaluation. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. A month after Shen Tsang spoke up, he challenged Shen Tian to decide who would lose and who would leave the Shen family. This had shocked everyone present. Shen Tian was even more ruthless, not only accepting the challenge without hesitation. On the other hand, a more harsh condition was stated, a life and death battle. The battle of life and death is unbelievable. Once both sides start to compete, only the victorious can live. The person who loses not only loses the game, but also loses their life. Challenging the other party, a life and death battle, is undoubtedly the greatest provocation and the most ruthless words. However, at this moment, it was said from Shen Tian's mouth, but in the eyes of others, it became a big joke. If neither of them awakens their martial souls, Shen Tsang is naturally not a match for Shen Tian. But now both of them have awakened their martial souls, and what Shen Tian awakened was a non-mainstream garbage martial soul. And Shen Tsang awakened the martial soul of the earth level. Although it was only a lower level, the earth level was still the earth level. The gap between the two has formed a reversal, and Shen Tsang has already left Shen Tian far behind. 1 month later, Shen Tsang's cultivation level will definitely surpass Shen Tian, and he may even be able to completely abuse Shen Tian without using his martial soul. Shen Tian, shut up. Shen Nanbei was the first to react and shouted at Shen Tian with staring eyes. Even if it was just an empty celebration before, at least people are fine. But if we have a life and death battle with Shen Tsang in a month, it will definitely be a dead end and there will be no way out. Shen Nanbei, the condition is proposed by Shen Tian himself, you have no right to interfere. Shen Bahai also spoke up quickly, and his son awakened the martial soul of the ground level. He was very happy. But if Shen Tian, the son of Shen Nanbei, could be killed in a month, it would definitely be even more joyful. So in this life and death battle, he absolutely does not allow anyone to stop it, even the clan leader Shen Nanbei cannot. I accept it. Shen Tsang is not a fool either. He didn't calm down before and thought he heard it wrong. One is a useless martial soul, and the other is a ground-level martial soul. As a result, the useless martial soul actually launched a life and death battle. Is this something that a normal person can do? Elders, my son has awakened his earthly martial soul. Shen Tian, this young man, is unaware of the vastness of heaven and earth, and has launched a life and death battle. My son has just accepted the challenge, and I hope all the elders can uphold justice. Shen Bahai longed for both Shen Nanbei and his son to die. Now that he has the opportunity, of course, he must kill one. One side initiates a challenge, the other accepts it, and according to the rules, this life and death battle is established. 1 month later, I personally presided over the life and death battle between Shen Tian and Shen Tsang at the Battle of Wutai. Elder Shen Dongha spoke up, which means that this life and death battle has been decided, and even the clan leader Shen Nanbei cannot change it. Shen Bahai. Shen Nanbei clenched his fists tightly, and his eyes burst with too strong murderous intent. It is not difficult to see from this action that as a father, Shen Nanbei did not believe that Shen Tian could defeat Shen Tsang in a month. The advantage of martial souls is too great to be compensated for. Half an hour later, all the awakening ceremonies of the younger generation of the Shen family came to an end. There is no doubt that Shen Tsang has become the focus of attention. After all, it is a ground-level martial soul, the only high-level martial soul in the entire Shen family at present. Xiao Tian, you are really being mischievous. At night, Shen Nanbei called Shen Tian to his side, and when facing him, he was about to vomit blood with anger. Your cultivation talent is stronger than Shen Tsang, but the difference in martial soul is too great. Earth-level martial soul blessing can compensate for the lack of talent in itself. Plus the power of the martial soul, you won't be able to defeat Shen Tsang in a month. You go, I'll send someone to secretly send you out. The farther you go, the better. Before Shen Tian could say a word, Shen Nanbei clamored to send him away. This made Shen Tian very helpless. It was Tom's martial soul, the unique and most powerful existence in this world. Father, run, that's impossible. Just watch how I will ravage Shen Tsang a month later. Shen Tian left a sentence and turned around to leave. His awakened martial soul was not a waste at all. Why did he run? Returning to the room, Shen Tian sat cross-legged. The next moment, Tom's martial soul appeared above his head. As time passed, Tom's martial soul slowly condensed into a physical entity. Finally, he jumped off Shen Tian's head. If anyone sees this scene, they will definitely be scared to death. The manifestation of martial soul is a special ability that only the level above the heavenly level martial soul possesses. The embodied martial soul is a separate individual with a separate consciousness. Even without the owner's command, it can launch attacks autonomously. To manifest, in addition to the heavenly level and martial soul level, one's own cultivation also needs to be innate. Only in this way can we withstand the consumption required for the appearance of martial soul tools. Of course, this is not the point, the key is Tom's martial soul, which can bring countless abilities to Shen Tian. Even after awakening, Shen Tian gained the ability to heal. With the improvement of cultivation, abilities will also be greatly enhanced, and more abilities will be awakened. Tom, from now on, let's join forces and cross different worlds. Come on, first perform a transformation ability and try to transform into Jerry. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 5. Start of Life and Death War, Seeking Flowers for Evaluation. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Shen Tian's current cultivation level is far from reaching the innate realm, and he is still far from the innate realm. He was able to manifest his martial soul only because of its unique nature. And even if the martial soul is manifested, there is no consumption. Just after Tom appeared, he looked a bit dazed and didn't seem to have much intelligence. Just now, Shen Tian communicated with Tom Wuhuan, gesturing for Tom to undergo a transformation and become Jerry. As a result, the martial soul Tom did not change at all, just glanced at Shen Tian and then lay down on the bed. After stretching lazily, my eyes closed and I ended up sleeping. No, you're just a martial soul who doesn't obey orders. Why are you giving me a blank eye? Shen Tian took a deep breath and felt somewhat uncomfortable inside. Got it, Tom is very greedy, don't you want to seduce him with delicious food? Shen Tian knows Tom very well. Although he is not sure how Tom became a martial soul, does Tom, who is now manifested, have a greedy hobby? Thinking of this, Shen Tian went to the kitchen. The huge Shen family naturally has a huge kitchen. When he returned from the kitchen, he already had an extra roasted chicken in his hand. Tom loves to eat grilled chicken very much. Before Shen Tian could even get close, the martial soul Tom on the bed opened his eyes. And the next moment, he quickly arrived in front of Shen Tian, and the saliva kept flowing from his mouth. Do you want to eat? If you want to eat, just change it. The martial soul Tom nodded repeatedly, and then his body began to change in front of Shen Tian. From a cat to a mouse. And this mouse is exactly what Jerry looks like. However, in terms of body size, it has not decreased. Not bad, I'll reward you. Shen Tian pulled off a big chicken leg and handed it to the martial soul Tom. Martial soul Tom grabbed the chicken leg and stuffed it directly into his mouth. When you take a bite and spit it out, only a complete chicken bone remains. When it comes to eating, Zhu Beiji would shake his head straight. After flaunting a chicken leg, the martial soul Tom was obviously not satisfied yet, and he kept sticking out his tongue at Shen Tian. While sticking out his tongue, he also raised his hand to point to his own mouth. Here you are. Shen Tian withdrew 2 chicken wings and handed the rest to the martial soul Tom. Shen Tian's 2 chicken wings were not finished yet, and the martial soul Tom had already finished killing 1 chicken. After finishing what he had in his hand, he even stared eagerly at the chicken wings in Shen Tian's hand. You little one, you're also so good at eating. I don't know if he was full or understood, but the martial soul Tom didn't even touch the chicken wings in Shen Tian's hand and turned his head back to bed. Shen Tian finished the chicken wings in his hand and also lay down on the bed. That night, Shen Tian struggled to fall asleep for a long time. It can be said that after traveling to a different world, he stayed up all night without falling asleep. Looking at Tom's martial soul next to him, my mind began to wander. Especially Tom's various forms, hoping to fight alongside him. I also want to experience Tom's various forms. After all, the ability of the martial soul can be used by myself. Especially for materialized martial souls, when combined, they can definitely fully unleash their effectiveness. High level of tacit understanding, even exceeding 100%. It's so great, it's improved again. After only 3 days, Shen Tian's cultivation was improved. Promoted from a 2nd-level warrior to a 3rd-level warrior. Shen Tian was originally a top-grade Xian-level cultivation talent, but he was just 1 step away from being a ground-level cultivator. One of the hidden attributes of martial soul is its ability to increase talent. The blessing of the Golden Legends martial soul at least elevated Shen Tian's cultivation talent to at least a sacred or even divine level. Holy and divine cultivation talents, can cultivation not be fast? After 5 more days, I was promoted from a 3rd-grade warrior to a 4th-grade warrior. 7 days later, he was promoted from a 4th-rank warrior to a 5th-rank warrior. In the following half-month, it was upgraded from 5th grade to 6th grade, and even half-step 7th grade. With the improvement of his own cultivation, Shen Tian obtained a 2nd ability, Tom Fei. A pair of semi-transparent white wings, but using them requires consuming true qi within the body. Shen family's martial arts field early this morning, it was already crowded with people. It's not a major holiday, but a day when Shen Tian and Shen Sangxing fight to the death. From ordinary members to clan elders, almost all Shen family members were present one by one. One is Shen Tian, the first talent of the Shen family, and the other is Shen Sang, the first martial soul of the Shen family. Although everyone has a first place, everyone present is actually very clear in their hearts that Shen Tian, who has lost his martial soul, may not have been a match for Shen Sang for a long time. Where is Shen Tianren? Are you afraid of death and afraid to come? Shen Sang climbed onto the stage of life and death early, and even when he saw that Shen Tian had not yet appeared, he began to mock him. Where did the foul smell come from? I could smell it from a long distance. Someone ate shit. A mocking voice quickly responded, and in front of everyone, Shen Tian appeared. His face remained calm and he strolled leisurely in the courtyard, showing no signs of nervousness at all. Yo, I didn't expect you to come and die. To die. Just rely on you. Shen Tian let out a cold snort, then lightly jumped and arrived at the life and death platform. A life and death battle is imminent. Kneeling down for the first day data, thank you. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 6. 3 consecutive slaps on the face, seeking flowers for evaluation. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Shen Tian gave Shen Sang a month's time, not because he was afraid that Shen Sang would awaken his earthly martial soul. On the contrary, giving Shen Sang 1 month is just to give him a space for development. Make Shen Sang think he has a good chance of winning, and then slap him hard. This way, it's more satisfying than directly slapping the face. And it is also more likely to make Shen Sang feel hopeless. When dealing with enemies, there is no need for mercy. Shen Tian, now I am in the realm of a half-step third-grade martial artist. What are you fighting me for? Haha. Shen Tian gang just sneered, and Shen Sang immediately retorted. After a month of development, Shen Sang's cultivation level has increased from half-step second grade to half-step third grade. He thought he was very impressive, thinking that he surpassed Shen Tian in terms of realm. After all, Shen Tian is an abandoned martial soul, and within a month, it is impossible to upgrade to the third level of half-step. Half-step 3 grade. Upon hearing the words half-step 3 grade, Shen Tian frowned and looked disgusted. He is already a half-step 7th grade, just a half-step 3rd grade, is it easy to show off? What, you're scared? Shen Sang thought Shen Tian was afraid when he saw his frowning expression. Today is a life and death battle, even if you're afraid, you still have to die. But if you ask me, I can make your death a little easier. Have you finished talking nonsense? Shen Tian appeared somewhat impatient and raised his hand to wave at Shen Sang, making a provocative gesture. You want to die? Upon seeing this, Shen Sang gritted his teeth and suddenly exerted force on his right foot. Immediately. The whole body is like an arrow departing from the string, sliding against the ground. In an instant, he arrived in front of Shen Tian. Raise your hand and punch. Hurry up. Accurate fierce. Punched straight toward Shen Tian's chest position. Many onlookers took a deep breath, feeling that Shen Tian couldn't withstand the punch. Even Shen Tian's father, Shen Nanbei, couldn't help but close his eyes. He cannot stop this life and death battle. Let Shen Tian run, but Shen Tian doesn't run. For him, this is a very painful moment. Which father would like to see his biological son beaten to death? Pang. A muffled sound sounded. Shen Tianjie was punched hard, but that's all. Not killed, not injured, not even moving their feet. Is that all? Shen Tian raised his hand and deliberately patted the spot where Shen Sang had hit him earlier. This action is more provocative than previous gestures such as waving. How could you be okay? Shen Sang's face was full of surprise. Although he had not used all his strength with this punch just now, even so, Shen Tian was not unscathed. Give you 1 month of development time, you have disappointed me so much. Shen Tian let out a long sigh and slowly raised his right hand, slapping Shen Tsang in the face. With a clang, Shen Tsang's body spun half a circle in place, then plunged into the arena. Such a scene also shocked everyone present. How could this be? Didn't Shen Tsang awaken the Earth-level martial soul? Why was one slap knocked down? It's a lie, Shen Tsang must be acting, definitely. Almost everyone did not believe that Shen Tsang would be slapped and overturned, and the only explanation was that Shen Tsang deliberately did it. It's playing with Shen Tian, not really being knocked down. Xiao Tsang, what are you doing? Kill him for me. Under the stage, Shen Bahai opened his voice and shouted loudly. Shen Bahai was already very angry about the scene just now. Why do you have to act when you can easily kill the other person? However, the truth of the matter is only clear to Shen Tsang in his own heart. He never acted at all. When he saw Shen Tian raise his hand earlier, he instinctively wanted to dodge, but found that he couldn't dodge at all. Shen Tsang quickly got up, but as soon as he got up, he was slapped again. Once again, knocked down. You his mother. Shen Tian gritted his teeth and stood up, but before he could even stand firm, he was knocked down again. Once, twice, 3 times, everyone was stunned. The battle of life and death is divided into both high and low as well as life and death. Is it necessary to be beaten and acted out like this? Is there a possibility that Shen Nizhen is actually stronger than Shen Tsang? I don't know who muttered, but many people also began to ponder this question. But the key is a useless martial soul, and one is a ground-level martial soul. Why can Shen Tian be stronger than Shen Tsang? Shen Tsang stood up again, and this time, Shen Tian did not take any action. He was waiting for Shen Tsang to release his martial soul, but at least he also awakened his earthly martial soul. How boring would it be if Shen Tsang didn't release the martial soul of the ground level? Only by easily grasping Shen Tsang in his strongest state can he make Shen Tsang die without closing his eyes, and only then can Shen Bahai suffer unbearable pain. Shen Tsang glared angrily at Shen Tian, took 2 deep breaths in a row, and finally used his martial soul. Martial soul, earth-shattering. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 7. Chow to Death, Seeking Flowers for Evaluation. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Shen Tsang awakened the Earth-level martial soul, even if it had only been awakened for a month, and exerted all his strength. The powerful attack power is also comparable to that of a close 5th-grade warrior. With this blow, Shen Tsang was very confident that he could instantly kill Shen Tian. Martial Soul Attack. Shen Tian unleashed his martial soul attack, now Shen Tian is dead. Everyone saw Shen Tsang unleashing a martial soul attack and believed that Shen Tian would die. But the fact is that I was once again slapped in the face. Faced with Shen Tsang's martial soul attack, Shen Tian remained motionless. Once again, use your body to carry it hard. Like the previous punch, it still failed to cause any damage to Shen Tian. The difference between the 2 attacks may lie in the slightly stronger momentum of the martial soul attack. At least it hit Shen Tian and rolled up a lot of dust. But that's all there is to it. Shen Tsang unleashed his martial soul, and surprisingly, Shen Tian did not die either. That's the Earth-level martial soul, can't you kill Shen Tian? Crazy, Shen Tian is just a useless martial soul. Why wouldn't he die? The onlookers were almost shocked to the point of losing their chins. Even the elders of the Shen family are no exception, as the scene they saw completely exceeded their cognitive scope. The most unacceptable ones are naturally Shen Tsang and Shen Bahai's father and son. Why are you still alive? Shen Tian stared straight at Shen Tian. He didn't understand why even the strongest blow from using the martial soul couldn't kill Shen Tian. This moment faced with Shen Tian, Shen Tian felt panic in his heart. An inexplicable sense of suffocation swept across the body in an instant. As for the whole body, there was a slight tremor. Cheating, he definitely cheats. Shen Bahai raised his hand and pointed fiercely at Shen Tian on the arena, shouting loudly. Are you stupid? What did I cheat with? Shen Tian couldn't get used to it and immediately retorted when he spoke. No cheating, why didn't you die? You're just a useless martial soul, my son Shen Songdi's martial soul, he won't be able to kill you. Shen Bahai's doubts may also be those of everyone present. Even the elder Shen Donghe was lost in thought. Under normal circumstances, Shen Tian, who had awakened his earthly martial soul, could not kill Shen Tian. Especially with the attack of the martial soul just now, its power is already comparable to that of a 5th-grade warrior. Shen Nanbei, it must be you. You Shen Nanbei, in order to protect your son, actually assisted him in cheating. Elders, I implore you to make decisions for my son and give him justice. Shen Bahai is not only a cunning villain, but also has a high IQ. Steer according to the wind, and whenever there is an opportunity, immediately stir up the wind and ignite the fire. This time, we seized this point again and began brainwashing the elders, forcing them to target Shen Nanbei. Shen Bahai, don't spit blood out. When did I help Tianer cheat? Shen Nanbei was also a strong opponent. As a clan leader, how could he be intimidated by just one Shen Bahai? Besides, did he cheat? He still doesn't know in his heart. He is already mentally prepared to lose his son, there is a cheat on Mao. If you don't cheat, how can you explain why my son Shen Tian used a martial soul attack? Your son Shen Tian will be fine. Don't tell me that your son Shen Tian's cultivation has exceeded the level of a 5th-grade warrior. This. Shen Bahai's words left Shen Nanbei speechless. Hey, can you show me some respect? Respect life and death battles. We haven't even finished the competition where we lost but want to lose our lives. What are you forcing us into? Don't you think that my cultivation is weak and I haven't died yet, which makes you question me? Shen Tian on the arena saw Shen Nanbei being questioned and immediately spoke up to lift the siege. While speaking, he took a big step forward and, in front of everyone, raised his hand and grabbed Shen Tian's neck. With a gentle lift, one hand lifted Shen Tian into the air. Let go of me, let go of me. Shen Tian struggled hard, but there was a huge gap in strength between the two. No matter how much Shen Tian resisted, he could never break free from Shen Tian's right hand. Animal, let me go. Shen Bahai saw his son being grabbed by the neck and lifted up by Shen Tian, and his face immediately became solemn. For Shen Tian, who had awakened his earthly martial soul, it was a hope for the future. You said let me go, then let me go. I don't want face, do I? Besides, this is a life and death battle. Once on this martial arts competition stage, only one person can walk off the arena alive. Unfortunately, that person is not your son. Shen Tian was too lazy to continue talking. He had lost interest in Shen Tian, mainly because he was too disappointed. With a forceful press of his right 5 fingers, Shen Tian, who had determined the martial soul of the ground level, was doomed to die. Your son, give it back to you. Shen Tian threw Shen Tian's body in front of Shen Bahai, who became furious when he saw Shen Tian's body in front of him. With a sudden surge of strength in both legs, he jumped and quickly arrived at the martial arts competition platform. Little beast, I'm going to kill you. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 8. Challenge Shen Bahai, seeking flowers for evaluation. You are listening at novel full.audio. Shen Bahai is not the only son of Shen Song, but the one Shen Song awakens is the earth-level martial soul. It is not an exaggeration to say that Shen Song is the hope and future reliance of Shen Bahai. Unfortunately, he had not yet waited for the day when Shen Song became stronger, and Shen Song was strangled to death by Shen Tian. Shen Bahai couldn't accept the fact that his own son, future hope, and future Thai were dead. The whole person instantly fell into a state of frenzy. At this moment, his only eyes were Shen Tian. There is only one thought in my mind, which is to take Shen Tian's life. Shen Bahai, don't be reckless. A shout sounded, and Shen Nanbei also jumped up to the Biwu platform. Shen Tian's ability to defeat Shen Song was definitely beyond Shen Nanbei's expectations. Since we have already won, it is impossible for Shen Bahai to touch Shen Tian, even if it means touching a hair. The life and death arena is divided into high and low as well as life and death. Your son has died, it's because he's not strong enough. Fart. Shen Bahai stared and shouted, what does it mean that my son's strength is not strong enough to die? It's obvious that he's cheating. This little beast has awakened a useless martial soul, while my son has awakened a ground-level martial soul. How could he not have fought? Shen Bahai still cannot accept this fact, and it's not just him. Many people present cannot accept this fact. The ground-level martial soul, losing to a garbage martial soul, completely goes against the understanding of martial soul knowledge. Old beast, are you stupid? Shen Tian retorted without giving Shen Bahai any face. I kept saying I cheated, how did I cheat? Is it just that I believe my cultivation level is low? Do you know my true cultivation level now? Can't I have an opportunity? Can't Laozi's current realm surpass that of a 5th grade warrior? Vegetables are just vegetables, even if you die, you deserve it. You. Shen Bahai was already very angry because he lost his son. At this moment, I was scolded by Shen Tian and almost vomited blood. What are you? If you get beaten, stand at attention. In the battle of life and death, if I were to die, it would be me. If I die, my father wouldn't even say a word. Shen Tian cursed at Shen Bahai, originally only half a step and 7th grade, but unexpectedly broke through. Although it's just a coincidence, cursing someone, and even cursing Shen Bahai, can break through this, it's definitely straightforward. You little bunny, you're even buried as a father. Shen Nanbei murmured inwardly, but still spoke in agreement. My son is right. If his strength is not strong and Kai is killed, I will definitely not have any complaints. On the stage of life and death are determined. From the moment two people step onto it, it is destined that only one person can walk down alive. Elders, since the life and death battle between Shen Tian and Shen Song has already been decided, will this matter come to an end? Shen Nanbei, as the clan leader, had the power to decide on this matter. However, one of them was his son, so in order to avoid leaving a conversation, he asked for the opinions of several elders. I agree. Elder Shen Dongha nodded and spoke out, while the other elders looked at each other and also spoke in agreement. The battle of life and death is inherently full of life and death. Two people go up, only one person can come down. There is no regulation, the one who lives must be Shen Song. Although the martial soul of the ground level is dead, it's a pity. Throughout history, there has never been a shortage of geniuses. But 9 out of 9, it had already fallen before getting up. I don't agree. My son is a level martial soul, why did he die in vain? Old beast, stop shouting. I'll give you a chance, a life and death battle. How dare you take it? Shen Tian's words shocked everyone greatly. Shen Bahai, that is a half-step 8th grade warrior, second only to Shen Nanbei and Shen Dongha, and the 3rd strongest member of the Shen family. Did I hear you wrong? Is Shen Tian going to challenge Shen Bahai or a life and death battle? You didn't hear me wrong, I heard you too. Crazy, he must be crazy. Does he despise his own longevity? The voices of discussion around him were rising again, and no one was optimistic about Shen Tian. Everyone felt that Shen Tian was crazy. Xiao Tian, don't act around. Shen Nanbei gave Shen Tian a fierce glare, and the elders had already spoken. Even if Shen Bahai refused, it was useless. Originally, this matter could have ended, but Shen Tian's opening up like this is equivalent to causing trouble on his own. I accept it. Upon hearing this, Shen Bahai immediately became happy. Immediately, he turned around and arched his hand towards the elders. Elders, it was he who initiated the life and death battle first, and I took over. I hope everyone is fair and just. Before the elders could recover, Shen Bahai waved his hand at Shen Nanbei, signaling for him to leave. Father, you go down first. Shen Tian also waved his hand towards Shen Nanbei. I will destroy the little beast. Old beast, I can also destroy it. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 9. Tom's healing start, seeking flowers for evaluation. You are listening at novel full.audio. Shen Bahai is only a half-step 8th level realm, while Shen Tian is already a 7th level realm. Strictly speaking, the half-step 8 grade also belongs to the category of 7 grades. How could Shen Tian possibly lose in the same realm? As long as he is willing, he can even instantly kill Shen Bahai. Shen Nanbei, get lost. You are the clan leader, don't break the clan rules. Shen Bahai is actually a bit afraid of Shen Nanbei, mainly because his cultivation is not as good as Shen Nanbei's. If Shen Nanbei forcefully takes action, Shen Bahai knows he can't compete with it at all. Father, believe me. Shen Tian slowly spoke up, while several elders on the other side also spoke up to urge Shen Nanbei to step down. Hey! Shen Nanbei sighed heavily, and his reluctant gaze lingered on Shen Tian for a few seconds before reluctantly walking down the martial arts competition platform. Is there a miracle happening? Perhaps it has happened once before. Because of this, Shen Nanbei did not believe that a second miracle would happen. My cheap old man doesn't even believe his own son, he's really a fool. Shen Tian shrugged his shoulders, also mocking himself. Little beast, you go die for me. As soon as Shen Nanbei stepped down from the Biwu platform, Shen Bahai moved. Taking a big step forward, he raised his hand and punched Shen Tian hard in the chest. The power of this fist is at least the full force of a 6th grade warrior's full strike. Shen Bahai believed in the power of this punch, even if it could not kill Shen Tian, it was enough to cripple him. However, the famous scene reappears. Shen Tian was not only unharmed, but also intact, with no movement on his feet. How familiar this scene is. In the previous life and death battle, there were only 2 occurrences. At that time, everyone was already stunned. But now, no one can describe the inner shock with adjectives. Shen Bahai, ranked 3rd in the Shen family, surprisingly couldn't shake Shen Tian with a single punch. If it weren't for what I saw with my own eyes, who would believe it if I said it? The difference between the two is over 20 years. Is that all? Shen Tian raised his hand and patted the scene of being hit by Shen Bahai. This scene was also familiar to everyone. For Shen Bahai, he is not unfamiliar either. Double critical strike, instantly elevating his anger level to its peak. How could you be okay? Shen Bahai looked bewildered, which was even more unacceptable to him than losing his son. Because your fist lacks strength, this kind of question still needs to be asked. Your intelligence is really limited. Shen Tian's various mockery values are full. In addition to infuriating Shen Bahai, he also wants to use Shen Bahai to test the healing ability of Tom's martial soul. Previously, Shen Tsang's cultivation was too weak to break through defenses, so naturally it was impossible to cause damage to him. I couldn't even try Tom's soul healing ability. And this is also the main reason why Shen Tian wants to challenge Shen Bahai. What kind of realm are you? A hint of panic flashed on Shen Bahai's face, saying that unknown things often cause more panic in people's hearts. At this moment, Shen Bahai belongs to this kind of situation. The Shen Tian in front of him is just a useless martial soul. Why is his strength so strong? The punch just now was powerful enough to rival a 6th grade warrior, but Shen Tian was fine, which also means that Shen Tian's defense is at least above the 6th grade warrior. That's only 16 years old. If it's another 10 or 20 years, how about it? Can you have a bit of professionalism? At least it's a life and death battle, it's not about you asking and answering. Well, if you're scared, I'll give you 3 moves. After 3 moves, I'll take you on the road. Anyway, since your son has just left, while he hasn't finished yet, maybe you can still chase after him. Shut up. Shen Bahai roared and launched another attack on Shen Tian. This punch is the strength of a half-step 8th grade warrior. Shen Tian knew that this punch was quite impressive, but in order to test Tom's martial soul's healing ability, he chose to stand still and use the hard punch. After enduring this punch in the abdomen, I felt my internal organs being shaken violently. Obviously, the hard steel punch was injured. But this is exactly the result that Shen Tian wants. Only by getting injured can he know where the current limit of his treatment ability is. Treatment. At the moment of injury, Shen Tian immediately exerted the healing ability of Tom's martial soul. Almost in an instant, all the injuries were healed. Shen Tian was extremely surprised by his powerful therapeutic ability. Of course, this is also related to the degree of injury. After all, the punch just now, at best, was only a minor injury. Strictly speaking, it's just a minor injury. Is this okay too? Shen Bahai took a deep breath. The punch he had just made, except for his martial soul, he had already done his best. But even so, can't we still kill Shen Tian? Not to mention killing, it seems that he hasn't even been injured to the point. You're too weak. During his speech, Shen Tian raised his hand and raised 2 fingers. Hurry up, there are 2 more moves. Don't fuss, otherwise your son will go far away and you may not be able to chase after him. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 10. Another old one, seeking flowers for evaluation. You are listening at novel full.audio. Shen Tian instructed 3 moves, 1 has passed, 1 is fine, and the other is shocked. Immediately after, Shen Bahai charged up his strength and fired his second punch. Double dragons sail away. This time, I used my martial arts skills. 1 move, double dragon sailing, not only transformed from a single fist to a double fist. Even the strength has almost reached the threshold of an 8th grade warrior. Shen Tian remained motionless, but after being hit by this move, the twin dragon set out to sea and his abdomen contracted. Immediately, there was a choking sensation. Forcefully holding it back, the blood at the corner of my mouth was suppressed. Quickly unleash the healing ability of Tom's martial soul, and his injuries recover quickly, but he has 1 more breath than before. After all, the injury is heavier than before, but it is still not a big problem. To be honest, it belongs to non-injury. You. Shen Bahai clenched his hands tightly, his body trembling slightly. Is the attack power close to the threshold of the 8th grade warrior still unable to cause damage to Shen Tian? Die for me. Shen Bahai did not pause at all, even when he unleashed his martial soul. Shen Bahai's martial soul is a wooden stick, with a lower grade yellow rank martial soul. Sweep away 1,000 soldiers. With a roar, the wooden stick above Shen Bahai's head whistled towards Shen Tian with lightning speed. Faced with Shen Bahai's most powerful move of sweeping the army, Shen Tian finally took action. But what moves is not the feet, only the hands. Leading with both hands, relying on a pair of fleshy hands, he swept away 1,000 soldiers with a firm and resolute stance. This stick is full of strength and has truly reached the level of an 8th-grade warrior. Shen Tian is only in the realm of a 7th-grade martial artist, and when faced with the strength of an 8th-grade martial artist, he can't handle it properly. The moment my hands touched the wooden stick, the tiger's mouth instantly tore apart. The energy carried by the wooden stick also repelled Shen Tian. This time Shen Tian couldn't hold back, blood overflowing from the corner of his mouth. But he is a chicken thief, deliberately turning around gracefully. With the help of the moment he turned around, he raised his hand and wiped away the blood from the corner of his mouth. As Tom's healing ability was activated, he immediately began to heal himself. Through these 3 attacks from Hard Gang Shen Bahai, Shen Tian has gained some understanding of his current Tom's healing ability. Minor external injury, instantly healed. If the injury is a bit severe, it will take some time. As for the more serious injuries, it is unknown. After all, I had previously used both hands to forcefully sweep the army, and my right hand was only slightly fractured. Under the application of treatment ability, there are signs of recovery for fractures, but the speed is a bit slow. So far, there has been no recovery. The 3 moves have passed, I'm going to take action. Shen Tian just used Shen Bahai to test Tom's healing ability, and the goal had already been achieved, so there was no need to bother. Tom's martial soul. Shen Tian released his martial soul and Tom Cat appeared above his head. Only releasing Tom's martial soul, with blessings, it has been elevated to at least an 8th-grade warrior, and even infinitely close to a 9th-grade warrior. Shen Bahai is just a half-step 8th grade, with just 1 punch and no need to use other abilities of Tom's martial soul to defeat Shen Bahai. Garbage martial soul, did Shen Tian release garbage martial soul? Can this trash martial soul still possess magical power? Originally, everyone was shocked that Shen Tian could resist Shen Bahai's 3 attacks without dying, but with the appearance of Tom's martial soul, everyone's attention seemed to be completely focused on Tom's martial soul. Some people even know that this is a useless martial soul and are waiting for any strange abilities to appear. After all, Shen Tian has shown miracles in front of everyone time and time again. Who can guarantee that there will be no more miracles? What, it seems like you're not satisfied with your appearance. After unleashing his martial soul, Shen Tian quickly took a step closer to Shen Bahai and lifted his hand with a punch to knock him away. He originally intended to kill Shen Bahai with just 1 punch, but seeing Shen Bahai's disgusted gaze, he changed his mind. Shen Bahai must die, but before he dies, he must also be thoroughly ravaged. My mom, 1 punch knocked Shen Bahai away. What kind of realm is he? It's okay for Shen Bahai to hit him 3 times. If he turns around and punches him, Shen Bahai will fly. This is a rhythm that goes against the sky. Shen Tian ignored the voices of people around him and approached Shen Bahai step by step. As Shen Bahai was about to get up, Shen Tian stepped on Shen Bahai's face with just 1 foot. The soles of the shoes stick to the face, pressing back and forth. Little beast, stop it. A deep voice sounded out of nowhere, and before everyone could react, an old man with white hair descended from the sky. This person also has a great background. Mo family in the Wild City, the previous head of the family, Mo City. Father, help me. The sound of Shen Bahai's father left everyone present stunned. Especially Shen Nanbei, his face full of doubts. Shen Bahai is his own brother, but now he is calling his father to Mo Cheng. Mo Cheng, you haven't died yet. And, what exactly is going on here? As the head of the Shen family, Shen Nanbei naturally needs to figure out this matter. Bahai is my son. Whoever wants to hurt him will die. Mo Cheng did not respond directly to Shen Nanbei, staring straight at Shen Tian and issuing harsh words. Sleeping in bed, threatening me. I hate others' danger the most. As soon as he finished speaking, Shen Tian stepped on Shen Bahai's head. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th.